Welcome back to another episode of the Big Ask Podcast. I am one of the co-hosts, Tara Renze, and today I have a very special guest and a very big announcement for our viewers, especially of those of you who live on the West Coast. Welcome to the Big Ask Podcast, Kathleen Vincent-Motti, who happens to also be my co-host planner for the Big Ass Podcast women's event happening in California in May. Say hi, Kathleen.
Hey Tara, I am so excited to be here with you and making this announcement. And thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your tribe here at the Big Ask.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to tell you, this is a big ask for sure. And, when Brooke and I dreamt up the Big Ask Women's event in Kansas, one of the things we said was we definitely want to get this event out because it was just a transformational day. We've had so much feedback, so many positive stories, really incredible stories of transformation and growth and women going all in on their lives, on their business, kicking ass and just really taking their fulfillment and love of life to new heights. And so when you approached me afterwards and said, "Tell me about this big ask because I want this big ask in California."
Oh, for sure. I was having major FOMO when I was watching how incredible the photos looked and just so wanted to be there. And, connecting with women, I think it's just so powerful to be able to feel your energy, to be in a room with like-minded people who want more out of life. They want more out of juggling work life, personal life. And I think events like this just really give women the opportunity to connect with other women, to say they're not alone. You know, I don't know how you feel, Tara. Like right now we're working from our home office and we're blessed that we get to do that. But isn't it just great to be out and actually see people live and in person and just connect and feel that energy and be around
Yes,
a group of.
there really is something magical about women's events. And when I first started out as a speaker, I did predominantly almost all women's events. And then it's interesting because my messages evolved and I'm finding that more and more companies and diverse audiences are wanting this, the Be Who You Came to Be message. But there is nothing quite like a women's event. And I did a women's event a few weeks ago in Dalton, Georgia. And from the minute I stepped foot into they had a happy hour the evening before, the vibe in there was different. It's this vibe of love, of empowerment, of connection, of togetherness, of true admiration for other women versus feeling like we're in competition. They say like sit in a room with women who are winning and the vibe is different. And that's what you get to sit in a whole room of women who truly are in abundance in their lives and want to win, but want every single other woman in that room to win. And it's powerful. I mean, it is truly game changing.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And that's exactly it, is just wanting to bring people with you on the journey, right? Because we all have our own stories and our own things that are happening both at home and work. And what a great way to kind of leave that behind, be able to focus on yourself, be able to really connect with other women who you can be inspired by, who you can learn from, or who you can inspire by being there. Because let's face it, we all have things that we're going through, working through, whether, it is in our mental fitness, whether it's in our ability to feel successful and empowered at work, or maybe it is just navigating the home life and balancing self, who we want to be and who we're showing
Right.
up for.
Yeah. Community for women specifically is so important. And, I think about what happened specifically during the pandemic for women, who they were home and what happened, so many of us are moms, we're wives, we're caregivers, whether we're caregivers to our children or our parents or whoever it might be, our spouse. And so then to have work there too, and to not have that option of community. And I'm not talking about virtual community. I'm really truly talking about what happens when we get a room of women together. It is so essential. And, so Kathleen, just so you know, I met Kathleen. She worked for a company that hired me to come do my Be Who You Came to Be workshop. And that was one of my very last events before we went in the lockdown in 2020.
Right. No, I remember I was just fell in love with you right away with your message and the way you connected with our audience. And that was such a fun event. Actually, in New Orleans, what better what better event to
I know
meet?
if we would have known what was coming, we might have stayed a little bit longer and
Right,
partied.
I know, right? But yeah, it was, and so we've worked collaborated a little bit on other projects virtually since then. So I'm really excited to actually do an event with you live and in person where people can meet you, feel your energy, feel the message that you are going to bring to them about be who you came to be, because it is such a powerful, important message. And maybe you want to share a little bit
Yes,
with
I
some of the
do. And
friends.
I can't wait for them to hear about what you're talking about too. But I have to just tell our listeners real quick that so that was Kathleen and I's first event, and it was for a group of women. And that company, with our collaboration, they went on to have the best record-breaking year ever because people left there feeling different. And I remember that was the vibe was like this was different.
Yes.
The way that you organized the event, my role of that half day workshop, we dove all in and I mean, there were hard conversations. There was emotion, there was vulnerability, there was excitement, there was fear, there was literally everything. But everyone left that event so fired up, believing in themselves, in their abilities and what they could achieve that even though we stepped in literally within 40 days after that event into a pandemic, you guys kicked ass. Like it didn't slow anyone down.
No.
And oh, and by the way, guess what they were selling? Bras. No
Right.
one was wearing a bra during the pandemic, but somehow they kept selling bras, okay?
Yes. The bra
But it was just that
alternative is good.
it was a bra alternative, but it was still
Yeah.
a bra, okay?
Yes, you got it. It was.
Yes.
And it
So
was, they left
so we've
empowered.
got
Yeah.
we have high expectations. We're gonna kick ass again. I can't wait.
No, we are definitely going to kick ass because that's what it's all about. It's just really reclaiming your belief in yourself and what you're doing, getting some clarity, equipping yourself with the mindset, the skill set and tool set to get out there and have the courage to do what you came to do. So that's
Yeah,
what we're going to empower women to leave our event with, and really
we
just
are. And one of the things that I love about your content that we're going to get into about the Big Ass Girl Talk panel, where we have true, real, vulnerable stories from women in business, and even and from my session is this is not fluff. Like this is not a bunch of we're going to blow sunshine up your keister and make you feel like you've got wings when you leave there. It is truly about connection and about knowing that, like, oh my gosh, those moments of vulnerability where we talk about lessons that we've learned, things that mistakes that we made, things that didn't go right, how we found the courage, how we really found that spot inside of us that we said, I'm worth more and I want to go all in and I deserve to live a life of genuine happiness, of success, of wealth, of abundance, of fun, of connection, of camaraderie, all those things. So that's really what's really unique about this day is that because it is a true all women's event, we really have the opportunity to take all the armor off and truly be real.
agreed. And what you just said it is that we are going to leave that equipped, and we're going to walk out differently than we came in, because we're going to really
Yes.
give them the tools and then also time to actually anchor in what they're hearing so that it could really make a change in their work life, their personal life, when they walk out the door and they continue to go out and fulfill their passion. And
Yes. It's going to change the way they show up. So let's do this. Let's actually break down the event.
okay.
First off, we're going to let you guys know right now, if you are interested in the event, there is links to the event in the show notes, as well as Tara Renze, TARARENZE.com. You can get tickets. We do have early bird tickets on sale right now. No code needed. It's by far the best deal. And we truly are saying this in honesty. We Kathleen went and scouted and picked out a very beautiful, intimate place. It's not a hotel. It's not a huge space. It is just a gorgeous country club. It's the perfect setting for a women's event. So tickets are limited, but we also want it like that. We found that when we don't have, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there, it just creates a different vibe. So That's how you can get tickets. But let's tell them a little bit about the event. And I have to say that this is the Big Ass California, and Kathleen is really, she has been the brains behind this, the mastermind of putting all this together. And I just have the good fortune of getting to come and speak and getting to help promote and getting to be part of all of it. And Brooke, my co-host for the Big Ass podcast, she will be there moderating our panel. So it definitely has a big ass spin. But Kathleen has just really poured her heart into this. So Kathleen, I'm gonna let you tell it a little bit, and I can talk about my session and a little bit of other things, but tell us what they're gonna get that day.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much, Tara, for you just coming off to the West Coast. We're going to be in Southern California in Seal Beach. It is a beautiful venue. And so we have a powerhouse lineup of speakers. I mean, you
It is.
yourself speak all over the country, and we have like world renowned speakers that are coming that usually you can't see unless a company invests tens of
Right.
thousands to bring these speakers to you to hear as a corporate investment. And the women in this lineup are coming because they truly believe in their message and that the message can make a difference in the women, and want to be able to afford it to people who maybe aren't part of a big company that can sponsor it. Or maybe it's something that, some of the workshops I know you offer, some of the workshops being offered by some of the other speakers, it is an investment of maybe $1,000 to participate in their workshops. But with us, we're giving everybody the opportunity to come, for a day for, under a couple $100. So
I
it's
know.
really
It's
a great
worth it. I
value.
mean,
It's
let's
so
think
worth it.
about what was the last thing you spent $150 on?
Dinner, right? It's
Oh, I
like a
know, right?
dinner, right? It's crazy.
For real.
And we invest in food, we invest in like just a timeout, or like when you go to Marshall's, you check out, you can't even go to the store without leaving $300.
I
Go to
know. I went to
Target, I'm
Target
like,
last night to buy Easter baskets, and somehow I bought, $150 of candy and whatever else. And I think I bought an eyeliner for myself and some toothpaste, which
I know.
are necessities. We do need these things. But this is really, again, this is an investment in you. And it is, I mean, I go so much to say that we'll give you a money back guarantee, because I know for a
Absolutely.
fact that you will leave there and be like, holy smokes, I am so glad. Not only it's, and you will leave being like, it's not even about the money, it's really about the time that I took this day for me. I mean, everything that you'll spend, you'll get back in swag and books and lunch and all that kind of stuff, but you're going to be like, I am so glad that I took the day for me.
Absolutely. Well, speakers like you, and you're going to talk about yours, but let's tell them. So, Tara's going to speak, and then also Sherry Tree, the author of Why They Buy and personality expert, is also going to be there, sharing a
Which I
keynote.
can't wait to meet Sherry. Just so you know, I've totally got like a girl crush on her. She's a total badass. And changing just I said on my my Instagram today, like it's curious, it's intriguing, and nobody else is doing this method of communication, which ultimately is like the highest form of emotional intelligence. Like, how do you communicate in a way that your prospects will relate and understand and get what you're saying? So tell us a little bit about her methodology, because I know you're part of this too, and it was one of the reasons that I was like, I've been so curious about it, that it's actually how we started talking about doing this event, because I'm like, well, how can I find out more? And you're like, well, maybe we should just do an event together. Let's do
Yes,
it.
let's do it. So really, it's all about communicating, like you said, and understanding who's sitting across from you. We all have different personalities. And how many of you have ever taken a personality test out there, right? Raise your hand. We do
Yeah.
them because we're fascinated to learn about us. But, Sherry took a unique approach to it and was wondering, if there's typically four types of personalities. And if you've ever taken DISC or Myers-Briggs or any of those, they really break it into four different personality types. And the question was, do they make buying decisions or buy in and have different values based on their personalities? And the answer was yes. And it's really just identifying how somebody is showing up and what information do they need to either buy into your product, your service, your idea, into you. So many times we show up as we are, right? Which we're not altering who we are, but we're just altering our communication pattern to transfer our energy and our ideas and our uh, products and services to another person so that they can hear it, so they can understand it. Because you might get excited about something being flexible and fun, but somebody else, that might give them anxiety. They want to hear, okay, well, tell me about the systems of structure. What's the day going to look like, right? And how
Right.
can we position what we're offering in a way that's going to connect and understand with the person that we're speaking to.
Right. Well, the minute I read about this, the minute I, read Sherry's book, you were telling me about it, I was like, well, this is the golden ticket that people say this all the time. And I use this all the time. And I tell my boys this all the time. Know your audience.
Yeah.
Know your audience. And that's really what you teach people is how do you know your audience? How do you know what to say, how to communicate? I mean, when I go on a main stage keynote, one of the things I do is I meet with the people before I say, tell me who's going to be in the audience. Who am I talking to? What are their goals? What do they want? And then I tailor all my messages, stories, everything around what they need. It's not just the Tara Renze show where I'm getting up there. There's a lot of the same stories. It's the same message, but how do we tailor that so that it really resonates with whoever's listening? And so what you do is you teach people how to know your audience. I needed to send my teenage boys to this.
Right, absolutely. And it is so interesting too, because this is applicable not only in work and in sales and in life, but like you said, at home. Also, understanding your children. Like, think about your two boys. Are their personalities the same? Is one more, okay, we can pivot, change, adapt, go with this flow? Or, are your kids more structured? They need to know what's coming up next, or they don't respond well to change, right? And
Right.
it's really just
Yes.
understanding the personality, how people are wired, and how we can show up and be there for them to serve and honor them, their needs, because like for somebody who values and responds good to flexibility and change, is good with pivots and moves. Somebody else who's not, really wants to advance notice, has to plan. Like some of our friends watching might be say, thank goodness I have like 6 weeks to get it in together, where somebody else might say the next day I can just show up, right? There's all
Right.
different. and
Yes. It
and
is so true.
and it's also going to be, what I think one of the fun things when people come is that they're going to be able to take a personality test too and find out about themselves. How are they buying in, and what do they need to make decisions to buy into an idea, concept? And so we're also going to, when you start with self and you understand self, and then you can put the lens on to see how other people
Right.
are
So
showing
they
up. It'll
are
be
going to get
fun.
to take the bank assessment before.
Yeah. So
Correct.
we'll give
Okay.
them, yeah.
Which
Oh,
is
that
really
was fun.
awesome because that is so here's what I'm loving about like how all this has worked out. So you guys have that how do you communicate for your so that your prospects are or that your relationships or whoever is on the receiving end of your message is picking up what you're throwing down, right?
Right.
And my
100%.
part, the Be Who You Came to Be, Get Mentally Fit is it also comes with an assessment, but this assessment is about us and our self-sabotaging beliefs. And so these two things combined is like this full circle communication strategy that not only are you understanding how you're showing up, how you sabotage yourself, how you talk yourself out of everything good, how do we get mentally fit enough to say, hey, I'm not my thoughts, I get to choose how I show up, but then taking that to the next level. And not only that, but how am I going to show up in a manner with whoever I'm with is going to be mutually beneficial to both of us. So, and
Absolutely.
I'm in the morning session, so we really focus on self in the morning, our personal, who we are, what our self-sabotaging beliefs are, how do we create, own, and live the life we deserve and desire. We're going to have our big ass girl talk panel, which we're going to get to. We have another speaker that I want you to share us about. And then, are you and Sherry? Remind me, are you in the afternoon or are you late morning?
We're going to do a little bit in the late morning and then anchor it after lunch and just kind of bring it together. We'll introduce you
Awesome.
to some of the concepts and some of the fundamental premise of personality. And then what we'll do is after lunch, we're going to really dig in to some skills and how to listen for cues, how to identify the different personalities that we're dealing with, and how we can alter our communication patterns, and how we can really pivot our communication strategies to really connect with the different personality types that we're meeting
Oh
or
my
working with.
gosh.
So it's going to be
I
awesome.
I can't wait for your session. I mean, I'm there just for that because I have been curious ever since. In fact, as soon as I found out what Kathleen was doing, I messaged her. I'm like, "What are you up to? Like, tell me what this is." And just so you know, this is one of those things where Tara Renze loves to take on new stuff and is always like, "Oh, I want to do this and this and this." And I was finally like, as much as I want to actually know and do more and maybe even start talking about what you're talking about. Like I need to just stay in my own lane right now and let you take the wheel on this. And so that's when we were like, well, let's just do something together because we could really give everyone like the best of all worlds. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Big Ass Girl panel in a second. Tell us about the other speaker because I know you saw her. We're so blown away by her. And you were like, I don't know if I could get her to come to this event. And then you put your big ask out there, and she
I
was like,
did.
yes.
Yes, Dawn Dalby. She is another rock star woman that I just cannot wait for you to meet. And I can't wait for our friends who are going to come to the event to meet, because Dawn is an actual financial planner. And she is an expert who teaches people how to live wealthy and really how to take your mindset towards money and really dig in to your money mindset, because emotions and money are typically not a good combination, but she
Uh,
really
Especially
shows.
for a lot of women.
Yeah. So I really love that what she does is she's going to help you really gain clarity to look at money as being a vehicle to support your personal values and really what you want out of life, and not have fear of spending, not have fear of saving too much, to really just connect your finances with the life and lifestyle that you want to live based on your values, what's important to you, and to really help you craft a plan and maybe even take it to the next level of financial strategies to help you achieve your plan, to know your numbers, to just feel confident and own your finances. And they align with your purpose, not only personal purpose, but professional purpose and lifestyle purpose. So she's going to be, and
Oh my
she's really
gosh.
fun. She brings it, because you think like money is always boring. You look at, oh gosh, I have to go to my accountant. I have to, like I'm scared to open up my
Not Dawn.
portfolio, right? Not Dawn. Dawn is just going to let her hair down, have some fun, and just girl talk it. Just say, hey, girls,
I love it.
and direct, straight strategies that are simple to understand. And that is really going to empower the women who are there to really think about and put together a plan that aligns with who they are and who they came to
I
be.
love that. I love that. Okay, and then in addition to that, we have our Big Ask Girl Talk panel, which happens over lunch, which is just a great way for you guys. I see it's being a fly on the wall and just getting to hear a group of highly successful women be vulnerable and share. And our panel moderator is Brooke Runenbaum, who is her resume is just so awesome, from running a super successful fashion company here in Kansas City to working then in the branding space and social media platforms. In fact, Brooke, I don't know if you know this, Kathleen, but when I first started out in 2018, I had known who Brooke was. I had actually gone shopping. She used to have a couple of different boutiques in town, and she was that person you'd go in and she was like, try this, 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 and this on. And you would be like, oh my God, how did you know that this is just what I should be wearing? To this day, I'm like, will you take me shopping? Because I actually don't love shopping. And she just has this knack for helping women feel amazing. And so she took that to the next level and said, how do I not just, like, I can make you look really cute in a great outfit, but she took it to the next level, and it was, how do I help women really understand their personal brand and how that translates into their business if they're an entrepreneur? And so I hired Brooke to help me create my brand when I started. And if you go to my website, all of that, the gold, the black,
Wow.
she was the mastermind behind all of it. And I told her, I'm like, you were ahead of your time, because I feel like I keep stepping into the brand more and more and more. And so she just has a knack for that. She's also super real, so fun and vulnerable. She's a perfect panel moderator. Um, and as part of a gift, you're going to get her workbook, Branding You, which is just a great workbook and exercise in all of that they'll just get to take home with them. But in addition to that, we have Amanda Thompson, who is with the company. She is a founder of a company called Kickpeach. She also works at a major corporation as their chief marketing officer. She has a incredible background in corporate communications, corporate relations, corporate marketing, sales. She's worked in the direct selling industry. She's a wealth of knowledge, and she is a total badass who created and is like disrupting the beauty industry with her very own beauty product, which I'm always like, I make a great dinner. Amanda's like, I'm going to make a revolutionary beauty product. I'm like, okay, do you have a recipe for that? I mean, it amazes me. Like, when the fact that she brought that to life and people are loving it. You guys are going to get sample of it. She's also doing some stuff with our coffee. And so she's going to be on the panel, and we've got a couple other surprises up our sleeve that we're working on finalizing. We just want to make sure it's really well-rounded. So you'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're CEO levels. Like these are women who own their own business, who've forged a way and a path to bring their passions, their ideas, taking their problems, helping women find solutions to them. Kelly Tenney is another one. I can't wait for our friends to meet her. She is actually CEO and founder of Teacher Brilliance. So she was an educator, and she actually helps people take their brilliance and create micro courses, help them monetize knowledge to help other women and men uh, learn from their experience. And so she's also an AI expert. So she's going to share a little bit
Oh,
too about the
cool.
AI industry, and also has, again, juggling family, battling breast cancer, coming through. Like, how do you maintain, running a business, doing all these things in life? So I can't wait for our friends to meet her as well. She's going to
Yeah.
be a really great.
Well, and I think that's what I love the most, especially about the Big Ass Girl Talk panel, it's real vulnerable women. And that's why we called it the Big Ass Girl Talk, because, you know, behind every success story is a beautiful mess. And everyone struggles, everyone has times in their lives where they're literally like surviving a shitstorm. And we want to bring that real vulnerable story to life so that you are inspired, but you're also not feeling like, well, I could never do that. That's not me. Because you'll realize at this day that really we're no different. Like as women, we all have a lot of the same goals. We're trying to live our best lives. We want to be good wives or good partners. We want to be, a good friend. We want to be a wonderful mother. We also want to kick ass in our career. And we have all the other roles and identities that we have. And I think that this common connection that you're going to get that day is it's magical.
It is going to be so magical. It's going to be great. And I just can't wait to just give you a big hug in person, to see you there and all the other friends who are going to get tickets and be
Our
part of
flights are
it.
booked.
Yeah.
I booked our flights last night. I even booked our hotel. The
Oh,
hotel
great.
looks darling.
Yeah.
The Airs, is that what it's called? Is that the
Yeah.
group?
Hmm.
By the way, it said they were limited on rooms already. I was like, oh, well, I better really get this room booked now.
Yeah. And they have some special rates, I think, for people who are coming in for the big ask. So I'll have to make sure that you got that and follow up. But all
Okay.
the details are on the site. So if anybody wants to know what airports to fly in, what hotel, the location is all on there. And again, it's going to be Thursday, May 16th. And it is just going to be an amazing day that you definitely do not want to miss, because when you look at it, and you're going to be so sad afterwards if you miss it. So
I
make sure you
know.
let your girlfriends know, because you know what? The worst thing for me was, like, I didn't know about the big ass till almost, it was after it was too late. It was over. But if I would have known, I would have been there. So make sure
Yeah.
you pay it
We had
forward
people
and share a
fly in.
girlfriend. Yeah. Hmm.
And they flew into Kansas, okay? Like this is not a destination state. Where you live is like, and it's a Thursday, so parlay a little girls weekend into it. You're going to get enough material at this event that you could easily make this into a additional retreat where you guys have chatting and talking and just, go out and let your hair down and have some fun too. Don't get me wrong. But it is, and just so you know, from Kansas, which we have really tragically expensive flights, the flight's $130 each way. So I think I paid like around $300 total for my flight, which is insane because we just booked a flight for my brother from Kansas City to Orlando and it was like
Oh, wow.
$850.
Yeah.
So flights are good. Flights are good.
Yeah. It's inexpensive to come in. It's a popular destination. They're going to bring the girl gang, bring their squad. Like, if you're a team leader, if you are something, and make it a retreat weekend, and we'll kick you off Thursday. And like Tara said, you can enjoy the weekend, and lots to do here in Southern
Listen,
California.
Brooke and I don't fly out until Friday afternoon. We're planning on letting our hair down Thursday night. We got to go have some fun. Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Imagine that. I can
Yeah.
have fun at an insurance seminar. So
Imagine what
we're
this
going
one's
to,
going to be like.
exactly, exactly, exactly. Well, Kathleen, so I did, just so you know, I did see Kathleen once. She was in Kansas for an
Yeah.
event like a year and a half. Was it actually like a year and a half ago? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a year and a half
Yeah.
ago.
Like a year and a half ago. And I got, yeah, that was fun.
She sent me
Painter's
this
event.
picture of her in my booth. She's like, "Why aren't you in your booth?" I think I was at a basketball game or something. And so we got to hug and meet up. And so this has just been in the works and just a mutual amount of love and respect for each other. And I am just so excited that you wanted to partner with
Yes.
Brooke and I
Of
in the big
course.
ask
Yes.
and bring it. And I think what's most exciting is these events are so important to women that, my one of my butterfly goals, and when you hear me talk, you're going to get to hear all about these butterfly goals, which seem honestly sometimes impossible, but we start taking steps, and that is to have these really kick-ass women's events across the country. And I'm just so excited that the second one is with you, and that we are going to get to pour into these women and make a difference. And just so you know, everything that we put into it, we're going to get back in spades, because that's what this is all about, is like you pour into other people and it all comes back. And I have to tell you, it's going to fill my cup up so much. I'm over the moon excited.
Me too. Can't wait. So it's going to be so fun.
Well, you're going to be hearing us talk more and more about the big ask. If you haven't followed Kathleen, go give her a follow. We will put her handles as well. Connect with her on LinkedIn, follow her on Instagram, send her a message, go check her out. Get your tickets. Go get your tickets while they're on early bird, before they sell out. And we will see you at the Big Ask California edition. Sounds so cool.
It is cool. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Well,
All
listen,
right.
thank you for listening to another episode of The Big Ask. This one was really special because we're asking you to go to California, meet us there, invest in you so that you can have the courage, have the wisdom, have all of the things that you need to put your big ask out there in the world so that you can be who you came to be. Ladies, keep shining, and we will catch you on the next episode. Bye bye.